The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant.
50 Cent has just come out and exposed all the shocking things found in Diddy's mansion raids, and he's had quite a bit of fun doing so. 50 Cent took to Instagram recently to post a picture of himself from an appearance on Drew Barrymore's talk show, adding a caption that only 50 could pull off. "Here I am, keeping good company with the Drew Barrymore show, and I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house."
I was hoping to get some more detail about the searches of his residence, the cases of lubricant, and the videos. Where were they found amongst his residents? Were they all scattered around the houses in one place? I kind of wanted to just get a better picture of how that stuff was found.
Well, look, I think that some of the details that you're seeking are in the detention letter. So, for instance, some of the AR-15s, 2 of the 3 defaced AR-15s were found in his bedroom closet in Miami, broken down into parts along with magazines with ammunition loaded in them. So some of that detail is in the detention letter. Beyond that, I'm not going to be able to get into where other items were stored.
Back in May, he stirred up more headlines by claiming that Netflix won a bidding war for a docuseries he's producing called Diddy Do It. And if you've been following along, you know 50's been chiming in regularly on the accusations swirling around Diddy over the past year. When security footage leaked, showing Diddy chasing Cassie Ventura down a hotel hallway and throwing her to the ground.
Disturbing new video appears to support some of the accusations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
We want to warn you that this video you're about to see is extremely graphic. The surveillance footage that was captured inside of a Los Angeles hotel in 2016 allegedly shows Combs assaulting then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway. A now-settled lawsuit filed by Ventura claimed that she was trying to leave the hotel after a drunken Combs punched her. The video appears to show Combs chasing her down the hall, throwing her to the ground, and then repeatedly kicking her.
50 wasted no time jumping into the mix. He posted on social media, "Now I'm sure Puffy didn't do it. He is innocent. This proves nothing. This is what his lawyers are going to say. God help us all." Not long after, 50 Cent shared another post, this time featuring a previous statement from Diddy denying the allegations of trafficking, rape, and sexual abuse. With his signature humor, 50 wrote alongside it, "The lie detector test has determined this was a lie." Then, when Diddy posted a video apologizing for his inexcusable behavior in the hotel footage, 50 once again voiced his opinion. "This is not going to work. Who is advising him right now? SMH bad move," he tweeted. All of this comes after Diddy was recently arrested. After the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York unsealed Diddy's indictment early Tuesday morning, social media quickly latched onto the most jaw-dropping details, like the narcotics and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant seized during the March raids on Diddy properties. These items were reportedly linked to his infamous freak-off sex parties.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair.
This bombshell information added fuel to the fire for Diddy, whose 2017 attempt at rebranding as Brother Love didn't exactly erase the dark allegations that have long shadowed him. The indictment seems to back up years of rumors, with accusations of violence and abuse dating all the way back to 1990. Many have speculated that the only reason he was allowed to function this long was because of his status as a federal informant. And wouldn't you know it? Celebrities have spoken up about this before.
How do you know that Diddy was an informant? And they wanted you to go more into detail about it. Can you do that?
Well, see, if I'm in the car with Kirk Burrows and him and our driver, and we go down to 26 Federal Plaza, I know 26 Federal Plaza is the FBI office. All right? Now, what they went down there and what paperwork they took down there, I did not know until I found out later that he was working with an agent in DC, but he was arrested by an agent in New York. But I can't go into it, and the reason I can't go into it is because another individual found out this information and it's owed to him. But when Fox News and everybody say they can't find out who the agent is, that's bullshit. It's online. If you got certain systems that you could find out who the agent is, because we found out who the agent is, but it's not my story to tell. I would tell you that, brother, but it's not my story to tell. It belongs to somebody else, and they're gonna see it come out. Puff was hit with a 40 rule because it's called a Rule 40, because he didn't show up at the agent's office in DC. The New York agent arrested him. He got adjudicated of all charges in January of 1999.
Things started unraveling for Diddy on November 16th, 2023, when his ex-girlfriend and former artist, Cassie Ventura, filed a civil lawsuit under New York's Adult Survivors Act. In the months that followed, 7 more women and 2 men came forward with their own disturbing stories of abuse, assault, and intimidation at the hands of Diddy. With Diddy's federal sex trafficking trial still unscheduled, the mountain of allegations is just the tip of the iceberg. Could he possibly snitch in order to get a better deal?
Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Stacey Schneider. And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise, and they actually named it in the indictment, the Combs Enterprise. And they said that this enterprise consisted of him as the alleged leader, his employees, assistants, staff, allegedly, that were able to procure women and alleged male sex workers to engage in performances for his own sexual gratification. Where it differs from a mob indictment, it has all the elements of putting together this racketeering allegation of all these moving pieces using resources from his businesses. But the fact that this is about an allegation of gratification being accomplished by alleged human trafficking, it's one of the most unique indictments I've ever seen in this area, in the area of sex crimes, because the government isn't actually prosecuting the sex crimes other than the human trafficking or the sex trafficking. They're not prosecuting any type of alleged abuse to women, although that's part of this racketeering scheme.
Federal prosecutors claim they have extensive evidence of his criminal enterprise, suggesting there's even more to uncover, especially since they say his illegal activities continued right up until his arrest. Gene Deal has suggested this may be due to the tapes Diddy kept of his crimes, many of which implicate politicians.
You know who else they was doing investigation on during that whole time period? It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City. They turn around and give him the key to the city. All the mayor people that he brought on here in New York City are all resigning. They all resigning. People ain't gonna tie this together, but if you look at it, you have to say, because of Mayor Adams and his relationship with Diddy, it brought on the Southern District of New York to start investigating Diddy on civil lawsuits that was put against him. Because the feds is going after all these politicians in New York City.
But many have since theorized that Diddy will not be allowed to continue living because he could implicate so many people.
All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z, we the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward and say, I support him.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Nobody haven't came out to support him, man.
Meanwhile, in what has been a surprising twist, Usher abruptly wiped his posts from X, formerly Twitter, over the weekend, sparking speculation about his friendship with Diddy. Many have speculated that this may be because of Usher's close proximity to Diddy and how he was seemingly groomed by the rapper.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor
some...
Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Uh-huh.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
And your
Jodeci,
parents were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this.
And why did Usher never speak up about this? Gene Deal has a theory.
That situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up with somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right.
Candace Owens chimed in on her self-titled podcast on September 21st, stirring the pot with her take on Diddy allegedly exploiting pop star Justin Bieber. She even touched on a video that allegedly showed Justin Bieber and athlete Odell Beckham Jr. in a compromising situation. Candace Owens recently resurfaced a video featuring a conversation between Justin Bieber and Diddy, where Diddy is heard asking Bieber why he wasn't free to hang out with him.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good? Selling out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
And these aren't the only ones. Many have pointed towards other interactions of them as proof that Justin was forced into things he didn't want.
Welcome to the family, John.
Owens then touched on Bieber's past struggles with addiction, noting how the pop star was trying to find his way back to God following his interactions with Diddy.
And what I will say is that this very much fits the narrative. We saw tons of videos of Justin Bieber. When he got together with Hailey, he was crying a lot outside of churches. He was finding his way back to God, but he was having a lot of emotional breakdowns. And what I sensed from those public emotional breakdowns, and only public obviously because the press was following him, was that he was coming to terms with the fact that he had been engaged in darkness unwillingly. And Justin Bieber probably has a lot of shame about that. He probably feels shame, first and foremost, as a man, as a husband, and as someone who has successfully created a new life for himself with his wife, Hailey Bieber. And so what I want to say to Justin Bieber and to everybody that's following the situation is that Justin Bieber is a victim. I was horrified when I saw this, not because of the idea that Justin Bieber would be engaged in these sorts of things at these parties, but because I understood that this was a kid who was intentionally targeted.
Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright, no stranger to making bold accusations, has dropped another bombshell. She claimed that Diddy allegedly sold footage from his notorious freak-off parties for a jaw-dropping $500 million on the dark web. In a viral interview, Wright suggested that Diddy may have turned to selling these controversial videos out of financial desperation.
Well, considering that the is selling his own evidence that would put him in jail against him on the dark net to the highest bidder, why would he sell evidence of his debauchery and savagery? Why would he sell on the dark net his tapes of just terrible? Wanna know why? Because he doesn't intend to stand trial.
Is he protecting people, or are people protecting him?
Oh no, he's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million.
Wright, who's been openly critical of Diddy for years, also alleged that the footage featured high-profile celebrities, though there's no solid proof linking them to any illegal activity. Some of the big names she mentioned include Justin Bieber, Drake, Chris Brown, Nicki Minaj, and Rihanna. However, none of these stars have been officially tied to Diddy's scandalous actions. But considering the tapes Diddy has, they could all be implicated soon.
But not only celebrities, I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there. Hallelujah. That's crazy.
You personally, you think they got tapes?
Well, my personal opinion that if Lil Rob could be trusted and his statements are true, they got him. They got tapes and stuff.
According to Wright, Diddy's shaky financial situation could be driving the sale of these videos. The last freak-off tape that just got sold on the dark net went for $500 million, she claimed during the interview. Wright hinted that with Diddy facing a mountain of legal charges, from sex trafficking to racketeering and sexual assault, he might be trying to raise funds any way he can. She even pointed to a specific party in Calabasas as an example of the kind of shocking behavior that was allegedly caught on tape.
It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas, and he just sold that footage.
How come you think it doesn't get leaked to the public?
The dark net?
Yeah, like...
Because of the dark coin. Most people don't even know that the dark coin exists. But that's how they're trading for all of the flesh they sell. Which is why I became so outraged last year when the twins turned 16 and he had them dressed like prostitutes and then he auctioned them off as NFTs because the NFT that he sold them to was attached to that dark fucking coin. It was like a promissory note to sell his daughters to the highest bidder.
Wright's mention of Bieber, Drake, Rihanna, Chris Brown, and Nicki Minaj has only fueled the controversy, though none of these celebrities have been implicated in any wrongdoing connected to Diddy's infamous parties. So far. How do you think this will end for Diddy? Let us know in the comments below.